Hi, this is part 8 of my series 16 Facts about the Covert Malignant Narcissist Sociopath. I unfortunately have many years of experience with Covert Malignant Narcissist Sociopaths, and it started with my parents. If you've not seen any other videos, I don't want to be overly repetitive if you watch the whole series, so try to keep it limited. But this started with my parents. My parents were Covert Malignant Narcissist Sociopaths, and and I'm using these terms in scientific reference. I'm not using it as just adjectives. I'm using them as they are scientifically defined. My parents primed me to be an excellent target for every other Covert Malignant Narcissist Sociopath who I came into contact with, and I did not know what I was dealing with. I did not have any tools. I did not, and why should I? I was brought into the world by people who were violent, raging, hostile, and who hated me. My parents literally hated me. I have complex PTSD that traces all the way back to childhood. Things have gone very badly for me, and my stress levels have been out of scope. And that is most recently the product of the last Covert Malignant Narcissist Sociopath, who financially destroyed me, destroyed my life, and was profoundly damaging. And so the experience with him, combined with the product of all of his destructive actions and where I am now, which is I'm still paying the cost for what he did. I'm also paying the cost for what my parents did, because what they took from me has a long arm. I wrote this book, finally free, My Exodus from the Covert Malignant Narcissist Sociopaths. Hopefully my experience is useful to you in, one, being another voice of validation, because you hear someone else's experience and there are things that will resonate, and we may not have the exact details. Our details may be different, but the emotional content and the results resonate. The results are the same or similar. If you are in a toxic trap with a Covert Malignant Narcissist Sociopath, I hope that me sharing my experience will be a contributing factor to helping you extricate yourself from the toxic trap. And if you are not in a toxic trap and you are not familiar with these behaviors, then I hope that my experience is your cautionary tale that helps you to avoid falling into a toxic trap with someone. This is episode 8. Episode 8, and the topic in this one, or the characteristic that I'm going to talk about in this one, is they weaponize incompetence. This is the last chapter in my book, and I cover 16 facts about the Covert Malignant Narcissist Sociopath, and this one is they weaponize incompetence. I'm going to read what I wrote and then speak a little bit about my personal experience. This is my personal experience. I'll just flesh it out a bit. So, they weaponize incompetence. Quote, something they would say, oh, I forgot. Or they say that they will do it, something that you have asked them to do. They say that they will do it, not do it, and pretend that the conversation never happened. When you ask about the thing that they had promised to do, they give you word salad. Mr. X, the last one who because after he discarded me and after is when I started hearing people talk about this phenomenon, and I learned the terminology and I learned what the words are that define what this creature is and what they do to people. I thought I was crazy. I really had been pushed to that point of fully questioning myself, my ability to discern, my own character, my own quality, and just everything. It's a terrible, terrible place to be brought to, where you have lost all perspective. It's like not being able to find perspective, not being able to trust, not feeling that one can trust oneself, and really not having any sense of certainty about what we think, or I mean, it's a terrible place to be. Mr. X, he did things that he wanted to do, which he then referred to as things he did for me. But they were things he wanted to do. It was not for me, it was for him. He wanted to do something, but defined it as for me. If I needed something important to be done, he would whine, well, I don't know what you want, after I had provided explicit details. There are, millions of examples of this. They weaponize incompetence in every degree. They weaponize incompetence on the simplest things. Any example, but here's one. There is a type of vitamin E oil. Vitamin E oil is measured in something called IU, which is international units. If you look at vitamin E oil, if you get a little, jar, or not a jar, but a small bottle. Usually it's in a small bottle. Vitamin E oil will usually be in a small bottle. And you'll see that it will say something like, whatever it says, 4,000 IU, 28,000, 30,000 IU, whatever it is. But that number is important only related to the quantity in the bottle. So if it says 30,000 IU, but the quantity in the bottle is 4 ounces of liquid, that's a low density vitamin E oil. If it's a 1 ounce bottle and it's 28,000 IU, which is a standard, I'm referring to actual standard things, then that is a highly dense vitamin E oil, and it's more desirable. I mean, I prefer a higher density vitamin E oil. Okay. There was some CVS usually will carry it. At least they used to. And it's in a little glass bottle. It's a 1 ounce bottle, glass, and it says 28,000 IU on it. I had asked Mr. X, who was going to the drugstore, oh, would you please look for this vitamin E oil? He didn't listen to what I told him. He instead got something different that was not what I asked for. And then got prissy and hissy with me when I said, well, but you said you were going to do this and this isn't what I asked for. The important detail with regard to this example I gave about my request for a certain type of vitamin E oil is if I flipped this scenario and it was he who had asked me for something specific, and I had said to him, yes, I will do that. And therein lies one of the central pieces of this puzzle. It's a situation where he asked me to do something, and I said, oh yes, of course I will. So I've given my word that I will do that thing. And I will ensure that I do that thing unless some catastrophic event prevents me from doing that thing. But when we flip that, the covert malignant narcissist sociopath will say yes with no intention of keeping their word. I sound like a good person. I'm the hero. I'm the big shot because I said yes and now, right? But I actually won't do that thing. I have no interest in what you just asked for. I'm not paying attention to what you said. I didn't listen to you. I don't care. And I will make up some shitty excuse later. Weaponized incompetence. Oh, well, I just didn't know. But that's a lie because there was a conversation. And you agreed. We were in that conversation and I was specific and detailed and I made it very clear and it's not that hard to understand. And the covert malignant narcissist said yes. And the weaponized incompetence problem comes in because when it comes down to it, they won't do what they said. They won't keep their word. So they have totally disrespected the conversation and pretended that they cared about what we said, but they don't. And then second, after the fact, is when they say, whine, oh, but I don't know what you want, I didn't, and so the whining and all this, and so then it becomes a thing where you can never ask them for anything because they'll never do it. They'll never do it, whatever it is. They'll never do what you ask in the manner that you ask. I need it done this way. Will you please do it this way? Sure. And they never do. And then later they're like, well, you're better at it than I am. Bullshit. Because if they were asking and we said, yes, I will do that, and then later on we didn't do that and we offered some excuse, they wouldn't accept that excuse. They wouldn't accept that. Double standard. Always a double standard. I hope this was helpful. Please subscribe. Please follow. Please tune in again. See you on the next one. Namaskaram.